Um, Kay couldn't make it. So everybody who saw the Battle of the Sexes episode should know Betty. Betty popped off in the Battle of the Sexes. She was one of like two that really popped hard. So who better to come and fill that void than somebody that pops off? Our girl Betty in the building,
Well, this is an unexpected surprise, but I'm happy to be here.
You gotta pull your mic a little closer, baby. I'm glad you're here too. So you ready to get into this thing?
Absolutely. Let's get the show started.
Yo, we got some things going on in the back. Don't worry about it, y'all. Whatever you hear, Halloween is close. It's ghosts in here. It's haunted. But we're going to work through it. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is this thing with Bill Cosby. Not so much just Bill Cosby, but the Ebony magazine. Now, Ebony has their November issue coming out, and it's already been leaked. And the image that you're going to see is basically the Cosby family with a big shattered thing over the whole family. It's really centered on Bill, but it covers the whole family. Now, a lot of people have issues with this particular cover because everybody knows that the Cosby Show was just a great show for our community. It was the first show that I could think of that we were depicted as an upper or middle class family. You had a doctor, a lawyer, married. The kids are good kids, no real hood issues.
Right.
So now with everything going on with Bill, they choose to take this image that was so wholesome for us and put it in a negative light, and they're trying to say that, they're just focusing on Bill. How you see that, Betty?
Well, personally, with the whole Bill Cosby show and the allegations, I feel like this man is being persecuted by the media. You have these females that supposedly he allegedly gave them drug and raped them without their consent.
Right.
And my thing is this, if in fact that did occur, I, under no circumstance, would condone that type of behavior. However, if I'm in that situation, I'm not waiting 20, 30 years to step forward to say, this is what happened to me. We have to think back to when Bill, when these allegations supposedly happened. This was back in the 70s, where everyone was getting high, everyone was on some type of a drug or whatever. It was the norm, you know what I'm saying? Most people were hippies. So I'm not putting it past these women to say they wanted to get ahead and slept with the man thinking he might help them with their career or
That's
whatever
possible.
the case is.
That's possible.
And if that didn't come to fruition, now, years later, you want to come out and ruin his reputation. The media is taking that and they're running with it because Bill Cosby, he's a powerful black man that has done a lot for the community. He's, he was Bill Cosby.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And it's like you have, they removed his statue from Disney World.
Right.
But yet Walt Disney was a pedophile. You
Right,
understand what
right.
I'm saying? But we're not discussing that.
Right. That's a
So
fact.
now, with this picture, how I see it, it's you not separating the man from the character.
I agree.
Because Bill Cosby is a man. What was his name on the show? I forgot.
Huxtable.
Right, Dr. Huxtable. Dr. Huxtable is a fictional character with a fictional family.
Right.
Like you said, that gave the black community something to look up to, something to strive, you know what I'm saying, a good role model, a good example. So you can't sit there now and say, you know what, because the man who portrayed the character is not, quote unquote, such a
wholesome individual.
Exactly. So now the whole show was a facade. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I'm hoping people out there are not feeding into this. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that we're not judging this man before we know all the facts. I'm hoping that we're not just taking somebody's word saying that, okay, he did this, he did that. The man is in his 70s. He lived his life. If, again, I'll reiterate, if in fact he did sexually abuse these females, they should have stepped forward the second that it happened to them, not 20 years, not 30 years. I don't give a damn what you were going through, how you were feeling, if people weren't talking about it back then. If your ass was violated, it should have fucking been reported. Point and simple, point blank.
I agree.
These wretched ass bitches, they're just after his money and wanting to ruin his reputation. And of course, white America wants to jump on the bandwagon and portray us, and use that to once again
Now,
shed a negative light on us.
that's the other thing. The other thing is the editor of the magazine is a sister named Jamila Lemieux is backing this move because Ebony magazine, after all, is a magazine that's, you know, a publication that's done by us, quote unquote, for us, right? So she's backing it because Malcolm Jamal Warner was on another show saying that he feels they're contributing to the shattered image of black families. So her rebuttal is, well, we only use this image because we're saying that Bill Cosby already shattered the image of the Cosby Show, which you already touched on. To me, I agree with you that the man and the character are two different people.
Exactly.
I've heard some people say, oh, well, Bill is making it bad, he's making the Cosby Show look bad, but most people say no, because at the end of the day, he has nothing, his character and that family have nothing to do with whatever he's alleged of doing, because it still hasn't been proven. Of course, a lot of people are saying, well, damn, if 50 women came forward, then he must have done it. I'm not one that, you know, was going to necessarily agree, but there's a good chance he may have roofied a few of them, but whatever. You know.
I'm not saying he didn't have sex with them. I'm not saying he didn't give them drugs. All I'm saying is back then, at that time, everybody was on fucking drugs. It was the norm. That's what people were doing.
Yeah, coke,
exactly.
trees,
That's what
LSD.
people exactly. That's what people were doing. So if he gave you something, I don't see him. What, he slipped it into your drink, and even still, back then. He's coming up, he's making money, he's the man. I'm sure he didn't have to drug people to have sex. I'm sure people were throwing themselves at him, again, for whatever reason, whether they wanted to get a leg up, whether they needed money, whatever the case.
Not unless he's just
exactly.
sick like that.
Right, he was the man. So I'm not taking anybody's word for it. I don't care if 1 million women comes forward, because it's the little thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna throw something out there that, you know, we've been it's been in the media for a long time. It tarnished Michael Jackson's image, you know, up until his death. But that's similar to Michael Jackson.
I was gonna say that.
I personally never believed Michael molested those fucking kids. No. Michael loved children. Yes, some of his behavior might have been inappropriate, but I never personally believed he molested those kids. Now, I have a 6-year-old, not to interrupt you, but I don't want to lose my chain of thought. I have a 6-year-old, okay? And if for any reason my son were to come to me, or if I suspected anybody did anything to my son of a sexual nature, I don't give a damn how much money you have, how much money you offered to silence me. I want your ass in prison behind bars. All of his cases were settled. Yes, if he didn't do it, he shouldn't have paid. But you reach a point in your life, you know what? I know these people are after my fucking money. If it means giving them a couple of millions to get them out of my hair, that's what the fuck I'm going to do.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So Michael never walked away from that reputation.
Right. Well, I'm going to say this, and we're going to have to move to the next topic. It's funny you drew that parallel because, yeah, Mike, people that claimed he did whatever to them came forward after his death and said they didn't do it. He didn't do it, that their parents put them up to it, and so on and so forth. And for any of those who know this game, this industry, they have a tendency to, you know, character assassination. Assassinate your character when they're trying to get you out of here. And Mike was already going around letting them know that Sony, he owned half of their publishing.
Exactly, 50%. That's Elvis Presley. That's the Beatles.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying? That's everybody.
Everybody. And
if they were to sell that catalog today, billions of dollars
billions
that catalog is worth.
Tommy Mottola is a devil, and that he was basically going to start his own thing and move forward. And the next thing you know, Mike is dead. So, you know, with that said, I'm just going to say this. Ebony magazine, in my opinion, you shouldn't have done that. You could have used a picture of Bill by himself.
Exactly.
You could have did anything. You could have, if you wanted to say that he destroyed the Cosby Show image because of what he's doing, you could have just stated that in the article. You didn't have to take that image and do what you did. So I think you're trying to move some units. We all know that your magazine, the paper, is a lesser material now, lesser quality. You guys are having problems moving your publication, so you're trying to get some sales, and congratulations to you on that. All you have to do is sell out our community to do it. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, and you won't be getting a sale from me,
Nah,
so.
hell no. So with that said, let me move on to something else. For those of you who don't know who Michael Dunn is, because me and Betty was talking about it behind the scenes, Michael Dunn was the white man in Florida that shot down a 17-year-old young black male by the name of, what was my man's name again? Jordan Davis. because he was playing his music too loud or something like that.
At the gas station.
At the gas station or something like that. And he shot into an SUV, shot 10 times into a car that had Jordan Davis and 3 other teenagers in it. Unfortunately, Jordan is the one that caught the worst of it. He was killed. Well, Michael Dunn has won himself life imprisonment for that. And I just want to just give a round of applause for them damn jurors and them out there who found this man guilty and they're putting him away for life. Life. You hear that, buddy?
Life. It's about time, you know? And I hope while he's serving his life sentence that every day someone makes a bitch out of him. Somebody tortures him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's ridiculous that our youths are being killed by these Caucasians. People? For no apparent reason. You know what I'm saying? His music was too loud. You have that idiot cop who just shot and killed that, I think his name is Corey Davis. He just shot and killed them parking by I-95 in the state of Florida. Yeah. Why? Because his car was broken down while black. Amazing.
Damn. Well, Dunn didn't get away with it. Unfortunately for Dunn, you're not a cop. So since you're not a cop, you do the time, boy. So they found him guilty, I think, on all counts of second-degree murder, I believe it was. So he's getting life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. He's gone.
Rotten hell.
And there's nothing he can do about it. You're gone.
Bye-bye.
And there's nothing you can do about it. So I just wanted to just let everybody know that one, man. I'm glad this happened, because we rarely get a chance to see any justice really done for us.
Exactly. So that's a check in the W column for us folks today.
Yeah, that's a check in W. And with that said, that doesn't take any hurt and loss away from the family.
Right.
For Davis, you know, we send our condolences out to you, and we hope this at least helps you a little bit.
Give you some peace of mind knowing that his
killer,
you know, didn't get away with it, and that he's locked up.
He's locked up. So that's it. We ain't gonna give him too much time. Michael Dunn, have a good one. Now, Khloe and Lamar.
Oh God.
Now, last show, you know, we already knew that Lamar, unfortunately, he was at a brothel in Nevada and had a little bit too much fun. I'm not trying to be funny, but between the cocaine and I believe it was Viagra, they said some herbal stimulant. So maybe it was an herbal form of Viagra, I'm not sure, but had put him in a coma. You know, now he woke up, and ever since, Khloe's been by his side, you know. Now, with that said, apparently they took the divorce off the table. They're going to work things out. They're going to stay together and all that. Now, my question is this. Do you think Khloe's doing this because she loves this man? Or do you think she's doing it because it's great publicity for her, for this bullshit-ass Kardashian show, and that's why she's doing it? Like, how do you see it? Me, I personally think that's what she's doing. Now, Kay, who got something to say, who couldn't be here today, I'm an MC, I ain't know that shit, though. She basically was saying that she felt it was love. You know what I mean? It's not, to me, it's not love. How do you see it?
To be honest, I don't really know much about the Kardashians. I don't watch their reality shows. I don't follow them. I do know about, you know, of course, everybody heard about what happened to Lamar.
Right.
So I'm going to say how I think about it. Okay, I can't say if she loves him or not. No, nobody knows what's going on in somebody's heart, somebody's mind, besides that person. We're not in their relationship, so we don't know what type of relationship they have. Maybe at the point when he reached his low the last time because of the drugs and she left them, maybe it's something that she couldn't deal with. Maybe she tried getting him help prior to that, and when he reached that point, it was like, you know, I can't do this, so this is not going to work out. And the fact that this time he nearly lost his life, sometimes tragedy brings people closer. Sometimes you reassess the situation, and maybe they, you know, it's like, okay, I almost lost you permanently, and I've realized, okay, I really do love you, and I want to work out our marriage, and this time around, I want you to get the help. I don't want to speculate because, you know, I see a lot of things about the Kardashians. I see a lot of negativity, but again, I don't watch their shows. I don't follow their lives, and no one can really speak on their relationships but them. And just because they're celebrities doesn't mean that they don't have problems like any, ordinary folks.
Right,
so
right, right.
it could be she almost lost her husband and realized that I don't want to live without him, and
Okay.
now divorce is no longer an option, and let's work at it. Let's get him the help. And if that's not the case, and if she's doing it for any other reason, I'm a strong believer in karma. Whatever you reap, you should also sow.
Well,
So if she's doing it for the wrong reasons, that shall also come to light.
Right,
And
right.
if it's not from the heart, she'll pay for it in some form or another, because you shouldn't take advantage of other people's weaknesses.
That's a fact. Well, we're going to see because, all right, he also, unfortunately, he took a little turn for the worse. We thought he was totally out the woods. He's still going through it. I believe his heart, some issues were happening with his heart. He didn't fall back into a coma, thankfully, but he's still going through it. So we're going to see when Lamar gets better, and I pray he does. We all pray for him that he works out. He'll be all right. Time will tell. I'm always a person that says time tells all things, so we're going to see. Now, if he gets better and all of a sudden you can't work things out, I might have to err towards you taking advantage of the moment kind of thing.
Right.
If not, then like Betty said, it could be a situation where you could have seen this person that you love hit an all-time low, almost lost them, and realized that, let's make this thing work. We'll see, you know what I mean?
You
We shall
never
see.
know.
We shall see. Well, Lamar, Khloe, I guess I'm going to wish y'all the best. See how everything works out with y'all, especially with you, Lamar, you know what I mean? Get better, man. And, just kind of, we're gonna see. We're gonna follow up with this one.
Keeping you in my prayers.
Exactly.
And it's not just you. I'm keeping all of our addicts in prayers, everyone that has some type of an illness, because addiction, whether it be to drugs, whether it be to sex, whether it's depression, whatever it is, it's an illness, and we need to keep our community in prayer. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry I'm laughing. I'm sorry. I heard the sex part, so I'm a little one-track minded, you know what I mean?
Right, you have people who
are
are addicted to sex.
That's a
you
fact.
know? And it's just, we just have to pray for them, that's all.
Okay.
You know, it's an illness, it's a disease, you know? And just because somebody's addicted to drugs, it doesn't make them a bad person, it doesn't make them stupid. Sometimes different individuals handle their problems differently. Some turn to alcohol, some turn to women or men or both.
Oh,
some
damn.
turn to drugs, you know? So,
Well,
but then at the end of the day, if everybody just turned to Jesus, then, they wouldn't be going through that. But I won't start any religion sermons up in here. So we'll save that
especially
for another
with what's
day.
coming next, because we're about to stir up a little controversy now. In the past, we had a Battle of the Sexes episode. We're going to have another one again, but what we're going to do today, usually we have our little sidebars. I got Betty with me, so what we're going to do is we're going to touch on a couple of topics real quick. That could be a Battle of the Sexes type of topic, So we're going to have the Battle of the Sexes sidebars. Yes. And the first thing I'm going to bring up is this. Double standards, right?
Right.
Who has more of them, or who really, how can I put it, benefits more from double standards? Like you always hear about, I'll throw a man's double standard out there, that if we have sex with a lot of women, we're the man.
Right.
But if you have sex with a lot of dudes, you're a whore, hoe, smut, whatever.
It's a fact.
So,
Yes, it's a double standard, but at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. From the beginning of time, men were always viewed differently from women. Okay? Men, I don't know, from back in the days, you have some culture where men are allowed to have more than one wives,
most of
Men
our
are-
original cultures is like
Right,
that.
And whereas women, we were always portrayed as the little woman, who's supposed to take care of home and supportive, be there for their man and stuff like that or whatever. So it's always been acceptable for a man to do certain things, yet when a woman does it, she's viewed, like you said, as a slut or a whore. And I tend to agree. Why do you need to sleep with 10, 15, 20 different men?
I don't know. I guess it's what she likes to do. You saw Amber out there with her new line. I wonder how that's doing, by the way, for the slut walk thing. That feel like, we're in a day and age where, I don't know, that's how they feel. But aside from that, who do you think has more double standards at the end of the day? Do you think there's more double standards that are more beneficial to men or to women? I think, in my opinion, I think women got a few more than we do. Like
Really?
that one there.
I would say you guys have more double standards.
So aside from that one, what's another one we got that favors us? Exactly, right? Can you think of anything else? Like, for instance, for me, one of the ones I see with ladies is you're always a victim. Like, for a guy, matter of fact, let me not even touch that one. Let's say money things. Like, for instance, okay, so if we go out on a date, I'm expected to pay, right?
It depends on who you go out with. If I go out on a date with a man, I have no problem going out on a date, either splitting the bill in half or paying for the bill myself. Matter of fact, years ago, I went out on a date with a gentleman, and we took a couple out to dinner. And when we got there, he was gonna pay, the person that I was on the date with.
Right.
But then the couple that we took out, they started ordering everything on the menu, and he wasn't ordering much.
Right.
So I said to him, I whispered to him, "What's wrong? You're not really getting anything." He said, "Well, I didn't expect them to order so much. I only brought X amount with me." I said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Order what you want. I got it." So again, it depends on the woman. I don't expect, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe that it's a man's responsibility. No, you're in a relationship. I don't believe it's 50-50 either. I believe it's 100-100. Everybody's putting forth 100 effort for it to work. I have no problem, like I said, taking my man out to dinner, treating him to a movie, buying him breakfast. If I go shopping,
Okay.
and I see something that I would like to see my man in, or I think I see something that he would like, I
Well,
have
that's
no
different.
problems
See, that's
picking
different.
it
That's
up for
different.
him.
That's different.
You
Because
know what I'm
I think most women will do that. Well, not most. I think there's some women who do. They'll buy their guy a shirt, things of that nature. But when you have a situation where a guy's making 50 G's and a woman's making 90, it's still expected for the guy to foot certain bills. And if he doesn't, then he's viewed as a lame dude. He's
Again,
a buster.
like I said, it depends on the woman.
Right.
You have females out there, their main purpose, their whole purpose is to see how much they can get from a man. You have females out there that's their intent. This nigga's driving this, so I'm gonna make him, give me this or buy me that or whatever the case is. You have females that's their mentality. You have other females that's independent, but that independence doesn't take away from what the man brings to the table.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, all a man wants is to be respected. You understand what I'm saying? So even if you're making more than your man, it's not something you throw in their face to make them feel less than you or whatever the case is. It's always supposed to be two people are together to uplift each other and not tear each other down.
Well, I'll tell you another double standard for ladies that I think favors ladies. When we break up, most of the time, if I do the breaking up, I'm a bum-ass dude. I don't know what I had. Whatever. All these negative connotations about me. If you break it off as well, they just grew apart. These things happen, and so on and so forth. Like, I have a tendency to see that a lot, too. That's another double standard I see. When we break up, if I do it, I'm messed up. If you do it, it happens.
I'm a different breed. I really am.
I see that.
I don't know. I don't think like most females. I don't think like most people. I've had 3 relationships outside of the current relationship that I'm in right now. And I can honestly say, although there were things that happened in those relationships that caused us to part ways, and at the time, there were hurt feelings and things like that, I can honestly say that I'm cool with each and every single one of my exes, which is 3 of them, by the way. And we're not friends where we're talking on the phone, but if we see each other, it's, "Hi, how you doing?" I've had one of my exes call me up, not to try and get back with me, just to check up on me.
Okay.
"Hey, how you doing?"
That's
Long
what's up.
time. So things happen. Like, I always try to, a relationship is work. If it didn't work out, it's not your fault that it didn't work out. It's not her fault it didn't work out.
Right.
It's both of y'all fault
Right,
that
right,
it didn't work
right.
out. So people need to learn to take responsibility for their part and their role that they play in their relationship
I
instead
agree.
of playing the blame game.
I agree.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I'm just saying, just for the record, I'm saying that I'm going to say, guys, we don't have as many as you. And I got to touch something else real quick. We got to move on because we're running out of time. Another thing I'm going to touch real quick, going to take about 2 minutes on, is do you feel women are trying to be too much like men since we're in that realm right now that we're talking about? Or do you see that, do you think men are, you know, being too much like
I think today the role women play has changed, you know. Women nowadays are more self-assured, which there's nothing wrong with that. But again, at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, we need to learn to play our position. We have a role. You understand what I'm saying? And people wonder why they're single or why their relationships are not working out. We have a role and we need to learn to play it. I didn't always play my role, but maturity, as you get older, you learn certain things, you assess situations. And I'm going to touch up on the Bible, even though I said I wasn't going to bring religion into this. The Bible says a man ought to love his wife the way Jesus loved the church. And we know how much Jesus loved the church. But it doesn't even touch on love when it talks about the wife. It says a wife ought to be submissive to her husband. And it's not to say you allowing your man to control you or anything like that.
Be careful now.
It's you need to learn. No, we have to learn to listen. We have to learn to respect our mate. Perfect example.
But hold on. With that said, do you think, now you're focused on the women, do you think that men, because I'm going to say, me personally, I think it's both. Like, I think some ladies are trying to be the guy, and I think a lot of guys are content with being the lady. Like, men don't have a tendency to really exert themselves like that anymore. To give you a reason to want to listen and follow, they kind of like, for instance, you got guys right now that'll hook up with a girl because she got her own spot, and that's a come up for him. You understand what I'm saying? So I think it's going both ways. Like,
it is. But the guys, they need to, how do I put this, man up.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Again, I think it's a combination of both.
Right. The same way I'm saying a female needs to play her position, a man needs to play his position as well.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like even last night, I went out to support you in Delano, right? And what did I say to you when I was leaving?
Oh, you had a curfew.
Exactly. And my man's not even in the state. But he wanted me home by 1 a.m., and it's not that he's controlling me or he's running my life or whatever the case is. It's just he doesn't want his lady out after a certain time. And I respect that. You know? My baby wanted me home at 1. I made sure I left by 12:30. I was home by 1:04.
She listened to you, bro. I can bear witness to that. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that then. Me and Betty, we'll be here all day. Betty is fun. We can definitely chop it up. But I have to include this segment that I love to do all the time. It's the Nerd Bird of the Week. I wish Delano would say, see, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, you see this? Betty's on point with it. Now, the Nerd Bird of the Week is a lady named Shaniqua Johnson. Not because her name is Shaniqua, even though Raven might have gave her a Nerd Bird for that.
Oh, God.
The Octoroon or whatever the hell you are. But Shaniqua Johnson is a 33-year-old woman out of Louisiana. 33-year-old woman out of Louisiana that got busted in a Walmart bathroom pleasing herself with a Jimmy Dean sausage.
Sausages.
Now, apparently, they saw on the camera stuffing sausages in her shirt, which made her, a suspect.
Correct.
So the security guard on deck, he was only $140. And this is him actually saying he was $140, so he didn't think he could take her down himself. She's a lot of woman. So she goes into the bathroom. They try to get out. She doesn't come out, so they radio in the cops. Sorry.
No, you said you got it right the first time.
Pigs? All right.
Yeah.
Both, the pigs and the cops, right? So they come. They got to go into the bathroom. They find Shaniqua in there going hard, going ham with the sausage.
Sausages.
Hard body. Right? To the point that even... I got 8 behind the boards again.
I can't.
To the point that even when they tried to make her stop, even when they opened the door, she was still going in with that sausage. This way, we still hear her going in behind me right now.
Wow.
I don't know I don't remember what Jimmy Dean sausages look like. I don't eat sausages. Pause.
Aren't they like maybe this big or something? Is that why she was taking so many? Because she needed to, I don't know.
Combine them so they're short?
I don't know.
Maybe she likes it smaller. Whatever it was, she was going hamburger with sausages.
Wow.
And she wasn't stopping. They had to really go in there and get her. Really take the sausages out of her damn hand and out of her.
Oh, gosh.
To make this woman stop and then take her into custody. And I forgot what they're bringing her up for. I'm sure indecent exposure is probably something. Disturbing the peace is probably something. I mean, I don't even know.
Who does that? Who does that?
That's some jailhouse shit, you know.
But, like, what were you, like, how do you go to a store and say, okay, I'm going to masturbate to sausages? Like, who the fuck does that?
Well, first of all, if you went to the store with that in your mind, if you start doing it and and the cops bust in the door and you're still doing it, then obviously you're not too right in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she probably hasn't had sex in a long time. She went crazy. And she went hamburger with the sausages.
The dick will make you slap somebody. Make you want to get some sausages.
What? Somebody get this woman a D, please, because she was wilding out in Louisiana. So, Shaniqua Johnson, Shaniqua, you're the nerd bird of the week. Now, I hope when you locked up.
The fucking year. Forget the week.
Nah. So far, the nerd bird of the year so far is that dude that cut off his joint. Nothing beats that to me right now.
Oh, wow.
It's between him and the old boy from last week, Talik Royal, whatever, the Compton rapper that got hit with a bullet fragment and said now he's a real rapper. So those dudes are like, you know, they made a selfie video. So those two might still be topping you, but Shaniqua, yo, you're a beast.
Wow.
You're
Looking
a
like
beast.
one, too. Let me stop. Let me be nice.
Wow.
Let me be nice. I'm going to be nice.
That's going to conclude it right there. I'm going to end it with Betty's line. So listen, y'all. I want to thank you for watching another episode of Hot Topics. I got to thank my lovely Miss Betty.
Oh, my God. You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Did a great job.
Thank you.
Come back anytime, you know.
Thank you.
And she's hot. Yeah, we had a moment. We had a moment, people.
Aww.
To everybody else out there, thank you for watching. To my brother, my partner in crime, Delano, man. I'm going to see you on the block. My niece is doing good, so I'm glad everything is good. To K with something to say, we miss you. You got to hurry up and bring your ass back. I don't know what you dealing with. You about to lose your seat. To Betty, shit is real out here. You know?
I don't know if my man will allow that, but, you know, that's another topic.
She's under lock and key. But she'll be able to come back every now and again.
Exactly.
To sdworldvision.com. My brother 8 behind the boards, always making this possible. Top Shelf ENT. Oh, before I go.
I pray, baby.
I Pray Fall catalog. www.realipray.com. You see the hoodie?
Support the movement. Support us. It starts with the home team.
That's right. Top Shelf ENT. Flames. 1.